So hello, if you're somewhat into yoga philosophy, I'm sure you've heard all about non-duality, pure awareness, presence, and things like that. And you'll understand when I say something like, you are that self, always beyond duality, always in peace and in bliss. And you really get that, but it's hard to keep feeling it, right? Life brings up all these situations that trigger various emotions, and then easily the bliss gets lost, and we feel then we've lost the self, which is of course not possible because we are that self, but it still feels that way. And so if we sometimes in this way struggle with our energy, with our emotions, then Tantric Advaita may be what we need. So sure, we keep the practice of always being aware of the truth and not getting fooled by the illusions of the ego. But that does not mean that whatever else we can do with our energy, with our feeling, is just an ego game. That is often said like that, but actually that is not what ancient scripture will say. They will point out to a variety of means that are there to produce the feeling, the bliss, the ananda of the self inside of us, and in that way make it so much easier to remain aware of the self. This way we can energize our practice of non-duality and truly live life from the self. Even if we look at the best known Advaita teachers of non-duality, like Ramana Maharishi, Nisargadatta Maharaj, who inspired most Advaita Vedanta non-duality teachers of today, there we can see that they've left behind many hints about Tantric Advaita, that actually they knew quite well about these techniques, and in some ways even also promoted them, while at the same time, still always focusing us back on self-awareness and away from the ego. And even if we look at their ancient predecessor named Shankara, who founded what we can call Advaita Vedanta, they are clearly also understanding of the tantric aspects of Advaita, the energy of non-duality. It is there. And truly also in the teachings that I received from my first and original teacher, Harish Johari, there had actually never been any opposition between remaining aware of the truth and at the same time working with our energy, because that is also the discovery of the ancient seers, that from the self the whole universe manifests, and that the seeds within the self from which this happens are directly linked to what is known as Sat Chit Ananda, which can be translated as truth, being, or bliss, and from which in a very magical way, but still clearly understandable way, the powers of sound, of space and of time emerge, and they create the entire universe, but at the same time they also provide us with the means to return to the source and regenerate the energy of the self in ourselves. They are the foundation of all yogic and tantric science. So if you like to know more about this sacred knowledge of Tantric Advaita, you can find a link in the text below to a PDF preview. There you will get an introduction to the subject of Tantric Advaita, as well as the first 3 chapters of the book that already has been largely written. So I hope there you can see the value of these teachings for yourself and for others. and that it may inspire you to back this project on Kickstarter. Because truly, these days, people do not so easily dive into a book. There's a lot of detail there. Really, to reach people, a multimedia approach is needed. So aside from the book, which will be relatively rapidly published, this project also contains the production of a number of video teachings that will be shared for free on YouTube and other video platforms. If you want to know more about this project, click through to the Kickstarter page. You find the link also in the description below. Kickstarter is an official crowdfunding platform for creative projects that are brought to life by people like you who support them. Especially for those who have known my teachings on YouTube, which have been there for many years. If you've always felt like these should be shared more widely, now is the time. Now is the time to support this project and help me to make this dream come true, so that Tantric Advaita can become available to a lot more people. And this way people will not get stuck so much into understanding non-duality without actually being able to feel it or to durably keep the feeling within their lives as they go through a variety of experiences. So please, back this project. You can pledge your support in any amount. There are also some rewards attached. Check that out. And so I like to thank you already in advance, and keep in touch. Give me feedback. Anything you can do to support this project. Also, just sharing this information is very valuable. Thank you. Ram Ram.